Okay, so Bungie just dropped a new video on their Destiny YouTube channel called The Journey Ahead. This video reveals some of the things that we are going to be experiencing in year 10 of Destiny 2, aka episodes 1, 2, and 3. Very overarching plot points, so if that's something you don't want to hear about, like a spoiler thing, I would turn off the video now. There are also some end of campaign kind of spoilers, so if you haven't played the final mission yet, maybe just go do that first and come back. Apparently it's not super long, so you know, just go play it already. So episode 1 is called Echoes, and it literally starts tomorrow. After the battle with the Witness, these things called Echoes were created as a result of the clash between light and dark, and these things have spread all over the galaxy. They are things of pretty immense power. The first one lands on Nessus, which ends up transforming the planet in a way. The Vex start acting a little weird as a result as well, new behaviors and things that were typically only seen within the Vex network start spilling out into our world. Apparently, we'll be going into the core of Nessus, seeing new landmarks, revealing secrets of a lost civilization. We'll also be seeing a new enemy that is doing things we haven't seen by anybody else. So it's all about figuring out, like, what the hell is going on Nessus. They talk about the new activity, which is a 3-player arena type activity where either part of or all of it is built on stopping these geysers of radiolaria fluid from shooting out of the arena while keeping the Vex away from that area. Again, we'll literally see this tomorrow, so don't invest too much thought into, theory crafting or how it all works. Just wait one day and you'll see how it works. I'm equating it with the likes of a typical seasonal activity. It's probably going to be on that scale. Next, we move to episode 2, Revenant, which is themed around the Fallen. Reese, their homeworld, it's been gone for a very long time. They're still looking for a new permanent home. Revenant is going to be more dark fantasy themed, quote, slaying vampires with a touch of Splicer, end quote, and then new quote, the vampire hunter fantasy, end quote. In some of the footage reveal, they showed in development footage of what looks like Zol, the worm god. Could be a similar character model. It could be Zol. Who really knows what's up with that? Fikrul is back with the Echo in hand, and he is building a new army in a fallen watchtower. Still in development, so, subject to change. But in episode 2, they will introduce potion crafting, basically ways to augment yourself, specifically mentioning the seasonal artifact, episodic artifact, whatever it's called now, and how you'll boost your artifact directly, and then we'll have loot potions affecting what kind of loot that you will see. I'm guessing this is a play on attunement from Into the Light and Onslaught. It seemed pretty obvious that it would return to some degree at some point in the near future. A lot of people liked it, so that's my current assumption on what loot potions are potentially going to be. They want to, quote, give players more agency in their pursuits. So that's kind of what attunement was. Episode 3, Heresy, has a lot less gameplay to show, a lot less in-game elements, more concept art, probably because it's still well in development, but they seem to have a core idea down as to what it's going to be. They want to take the core of the Hive Pantheon, like potentially their sword logic philosophy, and shake things up, as we've seemingly done a lot to maybe rattle the foundations of that logic. The details are vague other than, quote, an eldritch force with new mysteries, but that will ultimately lead us going back to the Dreadnought and revisiting the Dreadnought. They want to give it a new purpose, new secrets. The episode will be dealing with multiple themes, 2 different themes, and all they really talk about are the armor sets. One of them is essentially the Eris armor set, straight up Eris themed armor, like you look exactly like Eris, while the other set looks like if you combined traditional naval themes, like naval clothing, with the Hive. And I actually think this set looks cool as hell. They also say that if you liked the Shattered Realm, the Coil, that you're going to love the new activity, and they don't say anything else about what the activity actually is. And then we pan to year 11, what I've been waiting for this whole time, the future of Destiny. Where are we going? And we get one thing, codename Frontiers. And then it ends. That's it. I can't even. Oh, man. All right. All right. So, look. The look into what's coming with episodes. I'm still calling them seasons in my script. They're episodes. The look into what's coming with episodes, that was neat. Echoes is going to be out really soon. We'll explore that tomorrow on my stream, twitch.tv, if you want to come hang out and talk to me about other things. Finding out about the next two was pretty cool. I'm sure, some people are going to be rolling their eyes at something like somehow Fick will return, even though I don't think he was really dead to begin with. I get it, but I'm interested in the theming, potentially learning more about the Fallen's search for a new home, that kind of stuff. I like that Bungie is kind of in their experimental phase with these episodes. I think that's kind of what they really want to be doing with them. Obviously, Heresy, episode 3, is going to draw a lot of attention because of the Hive theme, potentially the ramifications of some of the stuff we experienced with Savathun, maybe a showdown with Xivu or Wrath, the Hive maybe realizing that their sword logic isn't what they thought it was. I'm super into that, but there's also a lot of, recency to that stuff, so it's more fresh in my head. The Taken King and the Dreadnought were such high points in Destiny's history in terms of how good the game was. And I know it's another situation of bringing back old content and revitalizing it, but I think only the most cynical of Destiny players will not be at least a little excited at the idea of the Dreadnought play space returning. Could potentially see some of the old strikes revitalized as well. The Taken King strikes continue to be fan favorites for a lot of people almost a decade later. I don't see a lot wrong with returning to one of the most popular play spaces in the history of the franchise. I also see this being a potential big player returning moment with it being episode 3. That's kind of a long enough break from the game, from Final Shape, to then come back and just devour episodes 1, 2, and 3. Remember that episodes are all self-contained. You don't need to play them back to back to back to understand what's happening in the next one. They're not technically connected in the way that seasons have been connected. I don't mind that for now. We've been on this big story chain for a while, but I think I would like to get back to some kind of new, longer-term storyline at some point. And then, codename Frontiers. Year 11, cut to black. If anything, this is the confirmation that some people out there needed. That yes, Destiny is going to continue into 2025 with more content. So many people thought that Destiny was done after Final Shape, after episodes, something like that. I never got that feeling for multiple reasons. Reason number 1, they've said it like 1,000,000 times that they're not done. Number 2, they still need to fund the studio and all the people that work in it. Reason number 3, when was the last time a mega franchise like Destiny, which is still popular, still making money, still successful, just stopped because the story ended? These things don't just stop. They are far too valuable to just stop. But to not get a single thing other than the fake name for what they're working on next is a bit of a bummer. However, I'm guessing the reason they said very little is probably because they themselves still aren't sure of what is being made yet. Look at Heresy, episode 3. Look how much of it was concept art and old clips. It is still something very much in production. No idea how far along they are, but they're far enough along that they probably have the skeleton of what it's going to be. Hive themes explored, go back to Dreadnought, here's some armor, ideas on activity, okay, cool. They got something locked in. You know, they know what it's going to be. To not even give a hint as to what year 11 is about says to me that Bungie is still figuring that out. The only part of the skeleton that they can show is like the frame of where it's gonna go. That eventually there's gonna be something there. Nothing's truly locked in yet, but they are gonna make something. I think they would have said something if they had something concrete to show or tell. Again, I already had the vibe that more was coming. So this to me wasn't anything new. It wasn't a revelation, which is why it was a bit of a bummer to end on. There's also very little to even speculate on. You have the word frontiers. New frontiers? Are we going to a new galaxy, new planets, new story, new frontiers for developing Destiny or game development? Like they're going to experiment more with the format of Destiny 2? It could mean literally anything. It could even be a bait name to just throw us off as well. Oh yeah, also really note that it said D2 on that screen. Nothing about a D3 situation at all currently. So, yeah, that's it. Cool to learn more about the episodes. You know, cool to know, hey, we're going back to the Dreadnought at some point. That's kind of neat. But we knew that they were coming, and I really wanted to know what the next big, tentpole moment was going to be. But I guess I can't be too mad if Bungie themselves still don't really know just yet. But they're working on it. They're working on it. Speaking of working on it, now that the raid race is done, I am working on the following: raid guide, raid contest mode thoughts, first impressions of final shape, and more. These are 3 videos that are going to take a lot of work, a lot of script work mainly. So please be patient. I only have so many 14-hour work days available to me before I just collapse in my chair. And this first week has been absolutely insane for me. So I'm doing as much work as I reasonably can. Though those videos are coming. So yeah, just please be patient. I'm working so hard. Let me know how you're feeling about this stuff. Like the video, that'd be sick. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.